So my question is, how do I fully commit to something academically for the first time?
What are you trying to commit to?
University. But basically, I've just had a lot of trouble with trying to find my career path. I'm 26 and I've kind of started and quit a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really want to follow through this time.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've been listening to the show for like a year and I've been waiting to hear someone with a question similar to mine.
Okay.
And it hasn't come up. But I have heard spouses of people like me talking, and they're complaining about how their spouse doesn't have any dreams or ambitions and they're just kind of floating. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel, how I am right now.
If you don't know where you want to go and you don't know what you want to do, and you don't, more importantly, I think like finding your passion, I think that's idiotic. That's a terrible thing to start out with. I think a better thing to do is to seek out, who can I help? Who can I serve? And if it is, I can be the best waiter for exhausted families after 6:00 p.m., I'm going to do that while I figure out what's going on. Or I want to be a therapist, or I want to build bridges, or I want to, I called a guy yesterday to fix the gutters on my house. Dude was amazing. He's on time. He said, I'll get you a quote by this afternoon. He got me a quote by this afternoon. It was a fair quote. Like, that dude's giving me a lot of peace in my house. He's taking care of my largest investment, which is my home, right? So whatever it is whoever it is you want to help is a good driver. I would not spend the money on university to stumble around and quote unquote find your path.
Yeah.
Because I think you can find yourself in a whole bunch of debt. You can find yourself with a whole bunch of credits and be like, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's also kind of a big fear and why I haven't really started anything yet.
So what do you love?
Kids. I've been a nanny for 6 years.
Okay.
And so I'm planning on taking child studies. And there's quite a few things I can do with that. I think it's just more the fear of school and
why don't you want to be a nanny anymore?
I really enjoy it. I think it's just the economy right now is kind of making it tough. I can't really find and keep a job at this point.
You can't find a job, or you can't keep, you mean you keep not showing up or doing a good job, or people have to let you go because they don't have the money to keep paying a nanny?
No, I've been doing a great job. I've just been let go 3 times this year. So time to move on.
Yeah, good call. And dude, so it sounds like you've got a path. What are you nervous about?
I don't know. I've never, growing up, I never saw myself going to college, university. It's not really something that anybody in my family ever really had money for.
Yeah.
And I never, when kids in high school were talking about it, I just never pictured myself there.
Did you know that one of the people that was my dissertation advisor, one of my first ones for my first PhD, person was let go. And the person who became my advisor told me that, and she was an amazing woman, Dr. Jacobs. She's just awesome. But she told me that she was given a list of students, and mine was at the top of them, of students who wouldn't make it. Would never finish. Flighty. Just kind of all over the place. Not going to do it. Did you know I was at the top of that list that they handed her?
Yeah, we sound similar.
Lynn, I didn't see it either, man. And I ended up with not one but 2 PhDs. And now I help a whole bunch of people after spending my whole life trying to avoid the internets. So here's the thing that has given me life. And you and I do. We sound very similar, okay? By the time I was 26, I had multiple jobs. And they were good jobs. They were careers for people. And I was going from thing to thing to thing. But here's what always was the North Star. I liked helping students. I like helping people. And if you love being with kids, then think of university not as, I'm going to university. Think of university as, I'm going to go get some concrete skills, how I can better help young people.
Yeah.
because I want to serve kids. I want to be there for them. I want to teach moms how to do that job well. And maybe I'll open a daycare. Maybe I'll work at a daycare. Maybe I'll become a child psychologist one day. Maybe I'll have a YouTube show one day.
Yeah.
But like the thing that has given me peace throughout my life is to follow the next right thing. And if you've been laid off 3 times because of the economy, people say, man, you are amazing. I just can't afford you right now. I'm so sorry. And then somebody snaps you up and they're like, oh, thank God we got Lynn. And then they have to let you go because they get laid off or their hours get cut or whatever. You're so wise to not just keep banging your head on the like, oh, what? You're doing the next right thing. I'm going to go get some skills.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you work with a different demographic. So you're not a nanny in somebody's house, but you're working at like a low-income daycare. And you're getting some skills with a different set of people who need some help.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I think you're on the right path.
Yeah, I think I'm just lacking the confidence for some reason.
Yeah, here's what sucks about confidence. You have to go through it to get it. And that's probably the greatest lie of your generation. Is that confidence is something that somebody else can give you that you can go use in the world. Confidence can only be found inside your chest after you've done a thing. So if you want to get confidence, and by the way, I just by listening to you, you've been told you can't your whole life, haven't you?
Yep.
Your whole freaking life. And yet you keep showing up to work and you keep doing a good job. And people are telling you, no, you can. And you can, and you can. And you're beginning to go, dude, I think I can. And you're at war with those voices. Because the voices, those stories that people make up about you and they told you all your life, over time, they become the stories you tell yourself. And the stories you've been telling yourself about, I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just not a university kind of person. I don't need to do that. I'm just a nanny. That's all I'm ever going to be. Is crashing into people who are paying you. Hey, I trust you to be with my kids when I'm gone. You do a great job. Mm-hmm. And so you got 2 competing stories. And the only way to find out the truth is take the next right step. So if you were my daughter, if you were my sister, if you were a close friend of mine, I would tell you 2 things. I would tell you to go get a job at a local daycare center if you can, even if it's way less than you normally make. Because you are still in the skills acquisition phase. You're building confidence. Not just because you can deal with wealthy people's kids. You can work with anybody's kids with any kind of struggles, and you can only learn how to do that by just going to do it. So I'm going to take long hours. I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to start taking some university classes so I can get some credence. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's your arc. I wrote that book for you. I'm going to give you a free copy of it, all right? But go get a job. Go get a 8 to 5 job, clocking in, making half of what you've been making, a third of what you've been making, to learn some new skills. You're still in the investment phase. And go take a couple of classes on child studies. Get something that will lead to a certification, not just mindless family study, like that's going to lead you to a certification that you can use in the marketplace. And go pick up those skills. Those kids are going to be lucky that you did.